You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about a very interesting exchange yesterday on College Game Day. Now, in case you don't know, and the Army-Navy game was yesterday, man, it was good. It really was good. But as part of the College Game Day festivities, Robert Kraft was on, Bill Belichick was on. He gave us a great moment putting on an old helmet, and him and Lee Corso yesterday. I mean, that was gold. It really was great. It truly was. Well, on the NFL side, of course, Robert Kraft owns the Patriots, and Belichick is the coach. And many people believe, including myself, that we are headed towards most likely a mutual parting of the ways. Pat McAfee is one of the co-hosts of College Game Day. I still find it strange. Everybody hates Pat on there. I don't get it. I think he's good on there. I do. Now, I've said I would have rather kept David Pollock at the, did Pat McAfee end up on there at the expense of David Pollock? I wouldn't like that if I thought that was the case. I can tell you that because David Pollock is very good at what he does. He was caught in all the ESPN layoffs. That's neither here nor there. Robert Kraft was asked, well, I can't even say he was asked something by Pat McAfee about Bill Belichick's future. He seemed to come right out and say that I guess it's a foregone conclusion and a lot of people know it because Pat McAfee acted like he knew where this offseason was going, and it did cause a rather interesting moment. Now, there's been some people that have commended Pat McAfee on this, some people that got all pissed off over it. I got to be real with you. And some people believe Reese Davis was going to try to ask this question, and it got cut short, blah, blah, blah. But Pat McAfee bit the bullet, put himself out there, and I don't get the outrage over it. If you have Robert Kraft on your set, you need to ask him about the future of the Patriots. I mean, if you don't, in my opinion, it's irresponsible. I would have been sitting there. Is nobody going to ask him about the Patriots? Really? Heading into one of the most, the biggest offseason of the Patriots in how many years? 25? A long-ass time. Well, Pat McAfee did, and he didn't really even ask. It was more of a, we already know what's going to happen. Very strange. Very strange. And we'll look at some of the reaction, and we'll watch that video. This is Patriots Wire on USA Today, and we do have a little PFT in on this. Awkward on-air moment between Pat McAfee and Robert Kraft has Patriot fans worked up. Why? I guess. I don't know. Things got really awkward on the College Game Day set at the end of a segment featuring New England Patriots coach Robert Kraft on Saturday. One of the show's hosts, Pat McAfee, first complimented Kraft on many years of success that he's had with the Patriots organization. Quote, "It's the greatest dynasty in the history of professional sports. You should be incredibly proud of that. You've kicked a lot of ass for the NFL." He's not wrong. I mean, their success has led them into a situation where basically, it's the Cowboys, it's the Patriots, it's the Steelers, Packers, Niners. And unfortunately for the league, the Niners doesn't have the ownership that those other, Rooney's, Kraft, Jerry Jones, the guys that the league really loves as ownership. So let's listen to this.
Greatest dynasty in the history of professional sport is in a building that you own. You should be incredibly proud of that. You've kicked a lot of ass for the NFL, Robert Kraft.
That's true. We like to win, so we want to do everything we can to get our team back so we can be winning it.
I don't envy your position. What's about to happen? We all know. Yeah. We don't have to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 times. Won the Super Bowl, been there on other...
And Robert Kraft reached out and shook his hand when he said that. But it's clear, Pat McAfee seems to act like he knows something, and maybe it's now the worst kept secret behind the scenes with people that are involved with the NFL. You know, some fans called it tasteless and poor timing. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean, Robert Kraft didn't stop him and say, well, no decisions have been made. Robert Kraft didn't do that. So let's look at some of the feedback here. Was really uncomfortable to watch Pat McAfee put Robert Kraft on the spot like that. Pretty disrespectful. That's Pat for you. You got to remember, some people just cannot stand Pat McAfee. They can't stand him. A lot of people hate Pat because of Aaron Rodgers and how he platforms Aaron, and you know how Aaron is on the vaccine, et cetera, and that's made Pat McAfee an enemy now. It has. Byproduct of Aaron Rodgers. That's part of it. Some people don't like, you know, I mean, Pat's wild, and he's sort of like, he was a punter, and he is living the best life. The guy has got to be in the WWE, and he's got to do all these things and come out. He cut a promo with The Rock after The Rock showed up for the first time in years, and it was a great moment. And Pat's got, you know, one of the top 2, 3, 4 podcasts in all of sports. And he did it through YouTube, really and truly. It very, very interesting. With Robert Kraft on Game Day set, Pat McAfee not so subtly hints at parting ways with Belichick. I love how everyone is so quick to just want Bill to go. Sure, go out and get a young up-and-coming coach, but unless they get better talent, it's going to be similar next year. Maybe the owners should have spent more money on the team. I don't think this is Robert Kraft being cheap. I've never believed that. I've got a strange feeling that Bill Belichick has an open pocketbook when it comes to signing talent. I've never believed that. That's low of Pat to do that right before a break. But look, he shook his hand. I mean, Robert Kraft didn't seem pissed. I didn't think it was that awkward. Character matters, Pat. I don't get the outrage here. I'm sorry. Pat sucks on Game Day. Not surprising he did this. Did he hurt a child on set and I didn't see it? What do you did this? What? Did what? His show is great, but there's a time and a place for saying stuff that's controversial. And when he's sitting with the owner of the stadium that's hosting this game, I'd say a time to keep his mouth shut. No, it is not. He is a member of the media. I expect him to be objective even in that moment. Sorry, not sorry. Well done by Pat. While up against the break, Reese tried to get into a question earlier. So you got somebody at least commending the fact that Pat went there. Kraft is a good businessman. He knows Bill isn't the problem, surely. Well, Bill's drafted the problem. I mean, it's the personnel that Bill's a great coach. He's a all-time, maybe the all-time best defensive coach. But he's picked the groceries, as Bill Parcells once said. Belichick isn't going anywhere. This non-reaction proves nothing. Keep hoping. I love Pat, but that was messed up. I thought that was ballsy of Pat to directly say that to Kraft on live TV. I did too. Why ask this and allude to this? ? It's not like Game Day is some hard-hitting interview session. Seems weird to do this in this setting by Pat. I don't get it. When I was watching, I took it more as the QB situation. I think Bill is there to stay, especially after his segment on College Game Day. What a tool. I mean, I'm floored by that. Did Pat McAfee just give us all a message with his talk with Robert Kraft? Is Bill getting fired? Oh, brother, this guy stinks. I guess I don't get it. Great job by Pat. Agreed. McAfee is overvalued and overhyped. I guess I don't get that at all. I don't see the outrage around it. I'm not bothered by it. As somebody that consumes football and you've got the owner of the Patriots sitting there. All right. I mean, all Pat did was seem to peel back the curtain on things that people already seem to already know. With the way he said it, Pat was basically saying it's a foregone conclusion. Now, I will say this. I've seen a lot of overreaction to beating the Steelers the other day. Okay? The Steelers just got beat by the Cardinals. All right? The Steelers feel pretty fraudulent right now. And I get it. Bailey Zappi showed up, blah, 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 in the first half, and I get all of that. But this team on offense is talentless. It truly is. I mean, Juju caught a pass. Mac hit him with that pass like 4 times this season. He dropped all of them. You know, there's no wide receivers on this team. The offensive line stinks. There's no speed, no separation. Great offensive coach. But I don't understand the issue with having brought that up. I just don't. I honestly expect it. And if somebody on that set hadn't said something similar to this or flat asked the question, are you firing Bill Belichick? I would have been like, does any of you do actual media journalist work? Question mark. Because I would have been like, oh, that's a fail, actually. That is a fail. So it is what it is. Tell me what you think. I found it odd. There was so much outrage around that. I guess I just don't get my little feelings hurt like that. I don't. Nobody's saying that Belichick's not the greatest coach of all time. I think he is. I truly do. But it's clear. I think it's run its course. It's run its course. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.